by correspondent Susan Tehrani. Hi, Susan. Get us the latest highlights of this operation, which has been named Operation Midnight Hammer, against the 3 nuclear sites in Iran.
Yeah, absolutely extraordinary. We just heard from the Pentagon, and this is the biggest B-2 bomber strike in American history. It devastated Iranian nuclear program. Iranian strikes were an incredible and overwhelming success operation. It did not target Iranian troops or Iranian people. Iran's nuclear ambitions have been obliterated. This is, of course, according to the Pentagon, just giving you the highlights of what they said. When this president speaks, the world should listen. Trump seeks peace, and Iran should take that path. I just want to say very quickly that we're getting reports that there are many phone calls being from around the world and world leaders to Iran to come to the negotiating table and accept negotiations at this point. Now, we also heard General Dan say that operation was called Midnight Hammer. As you mentioned, the United States employed several deception tactics over Iran, and it moved to strike Iran's nuclear facilities. The U.S. is currently unaware of any shots fired by Iran at U.S. warplanes on their way into Iranian. Total of 14 massive ordnance penetrators dropped on Iranian targets, this at about 2:10 a.m. local time in Iran, with those Tomahawk missiles. They were the last to strike. In total, U.S. forces employed approximately 75 precision-guided weapons during this operation. Now, Iran's surface-to-air system did not see the United States. According to U.S., throughout the mission of U.S., it maintained an element of, quote, surprise. Initial assessments now indicate that all 3 Iranian sites sustained extreme damage and destruction. A little more about what was used. More than 125 U.S. military aircraft took part in this mission. As I mentioned, the largest B-2 operational strike in U.S. history force. And right now, the United States, of course, remains on high alert. Iranian strikes, according to the Pentagon, would be a quote-unquote poor choice by Iran. No other military in the world could have done this. This is, again, quotes from Hegseth. This mission was not and has not been about regime change. Hegseth mentioned this, and now they are telling us that this was an attack against Iran's nuclear facilities, not against Iranian forces or the Iranian people. Hegseth also said, this is telling, this is not open-ended. Trump gave focused, clear mission to target Iranian nuclear capabilities. Israel had an incredible military success, especially at the beginning and ongoing. This indicates that Israel really paved the way for this attack. Hegseth also said, we can only confirm that there are both public and private messages being directly delivered to the Iranians, as I mentioned. And those messages, according to our sources, is that they're calling on Iran to come to the negotiating table.
Right, Susan, you pretty much summed up that press briefing there, but I just wanted to raise another question with you. During the question answer round, Pete Hegseth said that the battle damage assessment is ongoing, and they said that they neutralized the threat which poses to the United States of America. But the bigger question being that, has the United States of America, along with Israel, completely dismantled nuclear capability in Iran? Because taking 3 Iranian nuclear sites does not actually mean an end to Iran's nuclear program.
Well, the centrifuges were at Isfahan, and these were the main sites that, according to the IAEA, Iran could have maintained a nuclear weapon in, notably in Isfahan. Now, we are getting also some reports, this is behind closed doors, and we don't know if these are accurate or not, but the fact that Isfahan was the hardest target, it was the hardest mission, those Tomahawk missiles were successful, but again, the assessment is ongoing on the one hand, but once you have a damage assessment, then I think you'll get a better understanding on whether or not the United States may want to go in again.
Right, Susan, thanks for getting us the latest.